It's Halloween. It's Halloween. It's October 31st, 2014. This is our diary.
Oh, dude, I completely forgot that, like, Halloween was on October 31st. For some reason, I kept thinking this was the 30th.
You're stupid. So this is our diary of us going to die. But not really. Instead, we're going to read creepypastas for you and then tell you what we think. We're using the Creepypasta wiki because creepypasta.com's broken. It doesn't work. This is a story that was the creepypasta of the month for, I don't know, like 35 months ago, I guess. We There's an ad that says Mike's Harder on it. But this was like creepypasta of the month, I guess, like 35 months ago, November something, 2013 maybe, I don't know. It is called Happy Puppet Syndrome, and we will begin. It was simple. Shut up. We will begin. I'm sorry. Thorns whispering sweet nothings into my ear. You done?
This is serious. Let's go.
Okay. It was simple, we thought.
God, why do you have black fin popping up in the corner?
God damn. Just look away from the computer screen. Don't look at my dog. It's gonna make you laugh too. Alright, you ready?
Yeah, okay.
Happy Puppet Syndrome.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. You fucked it up. This is why we can't have nice pizza. It was simple, we thought. Take a few chromosomes, slice them up, put them over there, and hey, perfect human being. I'm still not sure what went wrong. Maybe a miscalculation, a misprocedure, or maybe something beyond our control. Who knows? We, a few of my psychologist colleagues and I, were intrigued by human emotion. Anger, despair, and euphoria. Was it possible to lock the mind into one emotion? To lock into a euphoric state so that no sadness or anger could cloud its thought? Theoretically, yes. I won't describe the procedures of our experiments to you, both because I wouldn't want you to repeat them, but also I fear I will go mad if I have to recount them. The terrible things we did, we were ambitious, youthful. Nothing could stop us, and no one could tell us we were wrong. All I will tell you is that we got a hold of a few stem cells, nurtured them into fetuses, and tampered ever so slightly with the genetics. The experiment was called the Angel Man Project, and the goal was to create a being which felt only happiness. But something went wrong. Terribly wrong. Half of the test subjects died unexpectedly, without warning and without cause. The remaining half were mostly born hideously distorted. 3 were born well. Perfect, we thought. A human with mental capability beyond any other due to its locked euphoric state. They were perfectly normal up to 18 months. That's when the first symptoms appeared. Lack of balance, trouble sleeping and eating, low responsiveness. We all panicked on the inside, of course, but on the outside we remained calm and continued the project. We should have ended there. But we should have taken those damned subjects and euthanized them, and burned them and closed the lab. But we continued. Things only got worse. The subject... What the fuck? I'm sorry, Steam had a notification pop up and I clicked on it.
Was it from the muscular black man?
Things only got worse. The subject's movements became increasingly sporadic, and they still could not utter words, although they could laugh and did so often. Much too often. Not happy laughter, but quiet, almost nervous laughing. Nearly constant. No matter how much pain was inflicted on the subject, it merely stared at you and laughed, as if it were mocking you, calling your attempts to harm it futile.
Ha ha!
We expected the subjects to have extra learning capabilities. Quite the opposite occurred. Their mental development was severely delayed. They couldn't pay attention to something for more than a few minutes before lapsing into a laughing fit. But we continued, hoping that these symptoms would clear up as the children got older. We gave a name to the symptoms, Happy Puppet Syndrome, because the mindless movements of the children made it seem like they were puppets on strings. 5 years into the project, we realized there was no hope. We could no longer stand the incessant laughing of these children, as if they knew something we did not, as if some kind of joke passed between them. To look at a child and to see it twitch sporadically and laugh excessively is a haunting thing. 2 of my colleagues had already quit because they could not stand it. I never heard from them afterwards. They are most likely dead. The children had not talked for 5 years. Only laughed their damned laugh. We went in to give them breakfast, and they stared at us with their huge eyes, twitching, giggling, and saying nothing. We laid the meal in front of them and left. The meal was laced with toxins that would silently and painlessly kill the subjects. It was a painful thing to do, but it had to be done. However, it would not be that easy. As a friend of mine set a tray of food down in front of one of the boys, the laughing stopped. The boy looked up at my friend, his eyes suddenly dark, dead serious. The laughing gone. They continued to stare at him and twitch for a while. My friend was in shock and would not move. My colleagues and I stood with pen and notepad ready to take notes. Suddenly, my friend fell to his knees, grasping his head and yelling furiously. He appeared to be in tremendous pain. My colleagues and I were so surprised by this that we could do nothing but sit and watch. My friend collapsed to the floor, yelling curses. He jerked violently a few times and then went limp. I held back the urge to be sick, more successfully than a few of my colleagues. Something about this was not normal. A dark presence seemed to tower over us. We immediately sealed the entrance. The boy stopped, looked at the door, and laughed. He fell to the floor, twitching and rolling about, laughing insanely. The two others did the same. After a few minutes, the fit ceased, and they stood up, still twitching, still giggling. The lights went out. I heard crashes, glass shattering, screams. The most terrifying thing of all were the haunting whispers, coupled with the quiet laughing. When the lights went back on, the subjects were gone. Two of my colleagues lay unconscious beside me, their bodies twisted at odd angles, blood trickling from their drooping mouths. At first they appeared to be dead. They showed no vital signs, but as I leaned in, I could hear them laughing, ever so slightly. I went over to examine my friend. No pulse, no breathing, but he continued to laugh quietly. Although the subjects had gone, I still felt as if something were watching me, something that was just at the edge of my vision, but that I would never be able to see. Me and one remaining colleague closed everything down immediately. Before leaving, we destroyed our research and locked and barricaded the lab. I lost communication with my colleagues. I presume they are dead. I still feel like I'm watched. I still hear the laughing, the whispering, in my dreams and sometimes when I'm awake. When I do, I run. I get up and I leave wherever I am. I'm not able to stay in the same place for more than a few days because of this. It spread. Other children were seen with similar symptoms. I have no idea how it spread. It couldn't be something that spreads. Somebody somewhere made something up about disjunction in the 15th chromosome, and that kept the people happy and in the dark, for now. The disease was coined Angel Man Syndrome. So far the spawn are not dangerous, but I know the original still lurks somewhere. I know they're coming for me. I know they'll find me. I accept this. It is what I get for attempting to tamper with nature. I leave this letter here as a warning. They're coming for you, too. They're coming for all of us. If ever you hear whispering, laughing at the edge of your hearing, run. If you ever feel as if something stands right at the edge of your sight, but you cannot look at it, run. Also, I warn you this. 1. Do not tamper with what is not yours. 2. Even angels can be demons in disguise. And 3. Do not come for me. I'm as good as dead. The following manuscript was found in an abandoned and hidden laboratory discovered deep in an Alaskan forest. The laboratory consisted of an observation room and a containment room. The containment room was barricaded and locked, and the entire lab seemed to have caught fire at one point. Traces of blood were found after the containment room was breached, and a window was shattered. The exact nature of the lab is yet undiscovered. That's it! That's the story. That's Happy Puppet Syndrome. What do you think?
I think it's about a whole bunch of kids with ADD.
I think it's... I mean, ADD kids, they have other emotions. It's so... These guys, they're like...
Oh my god.
That's not quite what they're like. That's the comments. And, I don't know. You want to look at the comments?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We're going to look at the comments. Okay. So, we're going to look at the comments now. We're just going to scroll down. Let's see. The comments are...
Oh my god.
20 out of 10. 3 love it so much I should give you hug. Semicolon 3, 10 out of 10.
Give.
Delicious pasta, happy face. A little cliche, but I liked it a lot. Creepy and based partially on a true story, 8 out of 10. How's that based on a true... Oh! Right below it, it's pretty creepy that it's based on a real disorder and that the real doctor who discovered it saw it in 3 children. 8 out of 10. I did not know that was true. I did not know this was a real disease.
I didn't either.
Well, I've learned something today. The fact that this pasta is supposed to be a creepy, twisted backstory to an actual disorder makes this pasta really cool and unique, in my opinion. Although I can see why some people would find it offensive. 7 out of 10.
I find it offensive.
Well, you also don't have Angelman syndrome.
Oh.
I'm sure there are people out there with Angelman syndrome. To the people who think this is real, it's not. The disease is real. Most likely the author is a doctor or someone in the medical field, and they knew about this and decided to make a pasta about it, so you can say it is loosely based on truth. Also, the meal was laced with toxins that would silently and painlessly kill subjects. It was a painful thing to do. Am I the only one who noticed this? First he says it's painless, then it was painful. And yeah, of course, as the comment below it says, it was painful emotionally, not literally physically painful.
Yeah.
I think also you don't really need to be a doctor to know that this is a disease.
I'm
just
pretty sure anyone who's looked up a couple of diseases.
we've been terrible people and just looked up baby diseases in a medical book before.
Yeah.
It was weird. There's a picture here. This picture is probably 90% of the video. What did you think about Pup Syndrome?
What did I think?
Like,
I
it's
thought it was pretty well written. I
I
enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good creepypasta. There's a lot of pretty out there ones, but this one, since it was based on some true stuff,
it was more grounded. I didn't really like it that much until I realized it was a real thing, and then I just kind of gave it some credit. It's more credible. Not credible. It's a terrible way to say it. It makes a bit more sense when you know this is an actual disease.
I don't think it was too creepy, to be honest. I think it wasn't too off-putting, to be honest.
It's creepy that that's a real disease.
Yeah.
This being a backstory, the backstory itself isn't that much in terms of it. Maybe it would be more like you knew about the disease beforehand. God help someone who read this who had the disease.
That's true.
If you have a kid with the disease and you read this, that'd be.
What was it called again? Laughing Puppet Syndrome?
The story is Happy Puppet Syndrome.
Okay, I think if the disease was actually called Happy Puppet Syndrome, that would be a little creepier. Because they did call that, but
the disease is Angelman Syndrome. Yeah. It's right here, yeah. Well, it's because the project was the Angelman project.
Yeah.
Which is why they're like, oh, and then it became the Angelman.
But I just feel like it might have been a little creepier if it was.
I never really fully understood why he just kind of suddenly got to live. Even though he's, like, running, he's just like, I got away, but no one else did. Be careful. They let me warn everyone about him. He's some serious kids right here.
Some serious doo-doo, guys.
Did it give them psychic powers? I don't fully understand.
What was so special about the kids other than they could laugh?
They didn't feel any emotion except for okay. So, like, extreme happiness is the only emotion they felt. And then it just kind of made them not very smart. Like, it made them, like, developmentally challenged.
I didn't get what happened to that guy, though.
And, the kid looked at him. He died, and then his corpse was laughing quietly. And nothing else was said about that.
Oh. Well, then.
And then the little 3 points he added at the end were kind of cheesy about, don't tamper with what's yours.
Yeah.
Even angels can be demons in disguise, which is, like, the caption for a shitty M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, I thought they went a little Gremlin-y there. Don't feed him after midnight.
Don't come for me. I'm a dead man. Hashtag Mike's harder. Oh, that's. I think just hashtag choose. It's hashtag choose harder is an ad. Here's a picture. Here's a picture of the ad for you guys to enjoy. Hashtag choose harder. Sponsored by Apple Firebomb. Unless
Drop a firebomb
if you're underage, drink this because I think it's alcohol, but I'm not sure.
Or is it apple cider?
Isn't
that still alcohol?
It's still kind of.
Oh well.
Johnny Appleseed's high apple cider. Make a night to remember. That was Happy Puppet Syndrome. Happy Halloween. I have my regrets.